Now we're going to look at constructing some objects when the two congruent sides must be connected. So first of all, let's start by making our segment. I don't really have to start point to point. There's A and B. And I want another side that's connected to A and B. It can be connected at B or A, doesn't matter. But it has to be the same length. So I'm still going to use the compass tool to measure from A to B. And I can center it at B or I can center it at A. I'm going to go ahead and center it at A. And if I put any point on this circle, then, and connect it, segments AB and AC will be congruent. So one thing I could make is a triangle, an isosceles triangle, just by connecting these two segments right here. But let's try to make it a little bit more interesting. Actually, let me just show you my isosceles triangle. So, getting the arrow here and hitting move, you can see these are all isosceles. Okay, what if I don't want an isosceles triangle? And I'll click this segment. And there are a couple things. I can hit the delete key. That'll get rid of it. Or I can hide it. If I right-click on it and it says Show Object, I can unshow it. And so I can leave it there if I want. So let's say I want to make a rhombus. That means all four sides have to be congruent. So A to B to this other point has to be the same length as A to C to this other point. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and use the compass tool again and measure from A to B. And then I'm going to center this at point B. All right, see, well, it goes through A as it should. I can do the same thing again, and I want this point to be the same distance from C. Well, you see, point A is equidistant from B and C, which makes sense. We started that way. Well, let's take a look at where the circles intersect, and I can find that by clicking on the intersect tool of the two circles. It's going to give me another point on top of A, and that's okay. Let me go ahead and hit View Algebra. Let's see, where's the algebra? View, Algebra, and one thing you might find handy for hiding things, see these conics? These are the circles, and they kind of get in the way, so I'm going to click them out now. And I'm going to hide that extra point D, just so it's not covering up my A. Okay, now I'm going to add my segments in. And you can look at the lengths here. This is segment A. And if I right-click on these segments, Object Properties, and I can show the value. I can do that for all the segments. And sometimes it'll actually let me, if I click on segment, like all together, and you see that's all highlighted, and show label. And instead of name, I really just want how long they are. And that's it. I'll close that. And you can see I've created a rhombus. So I can't move point B. I can move point C. All right. Moving point B is actually going to change the length of the rhombus because the side length I use to determine it is from A to B. So I can actually make the rhombus longer, the sides longer, the perimeter bigger. And A does the same thing. So A and B will change the lengths. C just adjusts it so that it's tilted, different angles. And now you have a rhombus.